Observe the tornado kick closely. In a dusty courtyard setting, it is a rapid martial strike designed to drop an opponent. In a studio, executing the identical leap, it is a movement of classical Chinese dance. This connection is embedded in the language itself. The character for martial arts, Wu, and the character for dance, also Wu, are pronounced exactly the same. They are linguistic twins, sharing a phonetic identity despite being written with different strokes. Historical evidence, like this photo of a martial artist balancing with a broadsword, shows these stances in their original context, combat survival. Taking these battlefield techniques and slowing them down for the stage shifts the objective to storytelling. But these martial roots are only one layer. What actually defines the movement of a nation with 56 distinct ethnic groups and thousands of years of recorded history? The discipline persists by treating its history as a technical resource, an archive that updates itself by absorbing the needs of each new era. To understand how it works, we have to look at the mechanics of its construction. Before any academy formalized these movements, the foundation was built through local traditions. Throughout China's history, ethnic groups developed specific dances to mark harvests, communal rituals, and shared beliefs. These grassroots origins rely on specific props, like the vibrant fan seen here. These items were originally tools of labor and agricultural life, integrated into dance as a way to recount the history of daily work. The geography dictates the style. These women in vibrant pink dresses dancing near the Kashgar Old City Gate demonstrate a regional vocabulary shaped by local customs that looks entirely different from the harvest celebrations of the North. In 1954, this changed. With the establishment of the Beijing Dance Academy, there was a new mandate to unify these fragmented regional styles into a standardized national identity. The architects of this new system look toward Western pedagogy. In this archival photo, we see an instructor at a ballet bar using the scientific training methods of Russian ballet to provide a skeletal structure for Chinese movement. They then layered the explosive acrobatics of martial arts and the stylized gestures of Chinese opera, or shiku, on top of that ballet foundation. This created classical Chinese dance as we know it today, an intentional construction that merges global training methods with deep local history. At the center of this system is a biomechanical concept called shenyan, or inner bearing. It requires that the dancer's breath and emotional intent drive the external movement, rather than just muscular force. This internal breath is guided by the principle of yuan, or the circle. As seen in these looping vector paths, energy flows in an unbroken cycle, avoiding sharp stops. In practice, this applies to the yuan shang step. Utilizing rapid heel-to-toe mini-steps, the dancer tracks along a circular path, creating the illusion of gliding. This circular, breath-driven flow stands in contrast to the verticality and sharp geometric precision of traditional Western ballet. This biomechanical code is the unifying DNA of the art form. It ensures that whether the dance is a modern piece or an ancient ritual, the movement retains its specific cultural character. Following the 1978 reforms, the art form evolved to meet the modern world. Rather than discarding tradition, contemporary choreographers focused on creative transformation. They began removing the elaborate costumes and sets, relying instead on the core Shenyan biomechanics to tell stories about the present day. Today, these aesthetics have reached a new audience through the Guofeng movement. We see this with young people wearing traditional Hanfu clothing on modern city streets, integrating ancient styles into their daily social identity. This cultural remix peaked with the viral success of Henan TV's Tong Palace Night Banquet, which used choreography to bring artifacts to life for millions of viewers. The production used 5G and augmented reality to place virtual national treasures and ancient paintings directly onto the stage with the performers. The direct link between the past and present is visible in these museum figurines. The dancers used the expressions and postures of these ancient clay musicians as the blueprint for their entire performance. The connection between museum glass and the digital stage shows how this history survives. It remains relevant by adapting its movements for the present.